Hi everyone, and welcome to this first BricsCAD webinar for 2021. I hope everybody's safe and well. So this webinar, it's a cost-effective multi-platform CAD solution for designers, architects, and engineers. Now, please use the chat window to ask any questions you have during the webinar, and we shall answer them straight away. If you experience any video or sound quality issues, just refresh the webinar link and that will put you back on track. Now, for those who are here for the prize, because there is a beautiful 3D space mouse courtesy of 3D Connection, please hang on tight for the end where we'll collect all the attendees and announce the winner later. So this morning, we are going to talk about the reason why more and more professionals are starting to embrace BricsCAD, which brings you more CAD power for less cost. So let's get started. Your hosts today are the talented Kin, our local BIM specialist from Bristol, and myself, Jas Pawar, based in North Birmingham. So who is Bricsys? Bricsys is the company that makes BricsCAD. It is a global provider of affordable, modern CAD, BIM, mechanical CAD, and common data environments, brought to market under the BricsCAD and Bricsys 24/7 brands. Bricsys is part of Hexagon AB, and BricsCAD is our best kept CAD secret. But that's changing as new customers are embracing BricsCAD, now with over 300,000 active users in over 110 countries. And you know what? That number is growing at a very fast rate. Bricsys is nearly 20 years young, headquarters in the beautiful city of Ghent in Belgium, with 200 plus division employees across 8 countries. The Bricsys team is forever growing. With new regional headquarters, we have a global presence, but with a local reach. Bricsys has rapidly expanded its commercial beachhead into EMEA, Asia, North and Latin America due to the increasing customer demand for those who are fed up with license changes and lack of development in their current CAD software. Now, BricsCAD services various types of industries across the globe, and that footprint is expanding. Now, here is just a sample of our customer base. Now, BricsCAD outputs DWG, including BIM and mechanical information. Now, working in 3D, BIM, mechanical, all contained within a single DWG file format. Now, as a side note, Bricsys is a founding member of the Open Design Alliance and one of the largest technical contributors year over year. Now, more than a single product represents a family of CAD products, the cost-effective, modern, CAD-compatible alternative to the popular CAD or LT, CAD, BIM, mechanical CAD products that you may be using today. Now, it is a family of products in the realist sense, image 2D, 3D, BIM, and mechanical design in a single light product. Now, this is what is available in the BricsCAD Ultimate Edition, which is what you have access to when you download the 30-day trial. All of the products in a single package. The whole product family is available for you to evaluate in a single download file. That's under 500 megabytes in size. And do you know what? We will share this link, this 30-day trial, for you guys in the chat window later on. Okay, so definitely take a look at that. And when you buy, your license code enables your access to the specific editions of BricsCAD, BricsCAD Lite, BricsCAD Pro, BricsCAD BIM, Mechanical or Ultimate. There's no separate software installs. All are available on the same software platform. So let's take a closer look at some of the editions. BricsCAD Lite, this is the better alternative to the AutoCAD LT at a better price. It's a common requirement that people work in 2D documentation, and BricsCAD has the best tools for 2D drafting. It's a familiar UI, easy to migrate and easy to learn, all based on the standard .dwg. BricsCAD Professional. This is CAD software for 2D drafting, 3D modeling, and third-party applications. The easiest path to 3D. It's the same intuitive patterns and workflows as the other CAD. Keep your training costs down for users moving from 2D to 3D. It's easy, it's intuitive. BricsCAD has an ASIS-based direct 3D modular, which handles both solids and surfaces beautifully. And the best thing is, with a click of a button, you can have parametric designs if you wish. As well as high compatibility to the other CAD, BricsCAD Pro includes AI and machine learning tools to improve productivity and increase efficient output, reduce time spent on repetitive tasks. And this example that you see right now is a great improved scan to BIM workflow. Work with point cloud data as a visualization aid, not a problem, because that's all supported in BricsCAD Pro. Advanced mechanical design tools is what you get with BricsCAD Mechanical. If you're using a drawing-based system today, you don't have to leave the drawing universe. No. To have an efficient, powerful mechanical design tool, this is a drawing-based CAD for mechanical. You can create, design with efficient, powerful mechanical design tools. And a great way to create mechanical objects for BIM solution, since both BricsCAD Mechanical and BricsCAD BIM are in the Ultimate Edition of BricsCAD, all in one platform, same software, or DWG. So everything you see in Enlighter Pro, you get that with Mechanical and BIM. And talking about BIM, an end-to-end BIM workflow for design, construction, documentation, and manufactured building, all in one product. If you're doing AC design and documentation today, the move to BricsCAD BIM is a very short move. It really is. Keep your training costs down for users moving from 2D to 3D to BIM, all based on familiar workflows that CAD users know and use today. And collaboration, in design, engineering, and construction, we've got that covered. With Bricsys 24/7, giving you the right data at the right time, wherever you might be. So I'm going to now tag my partner in crime now, but we have two great demos lined up. The first is in the AEC space, where Kin will talk about an AEC space situation where we hear a lot, using one software for concept design, then another for 2D and 3D, and then a third and fourth product for BIM and documentation. And then Kin will show you how easy it is to achieve all that in a single solution, BricsCAD. And the second, in the manufacturing space, is allowing you to take your 3D design to production. Take it away, Kin. It's all yours.
Well, thanks, Jas, for that wonderful introduction. Well, hi, everyone. My name is Kin, and let's fire up BricsCAD. So when I double click on it, the first thing that you'll see is a launcher with all the BricsCAD verticals and the workspaces that Jas mentioned earlier. I'm running on BricsCAD Ultimate, so I have all the full package, the 2D drafting, I have 3D modeling, mechanical design, and BIM. And you can also see BricsCAD Shape, so which is free, and that is our answer for SketchUp. But remember, this is all in just one platform, and everything will be created natively in DWG. So just before I continue, actually, I'd like to quickly give a context of what I'm about to do. So imagine I'm an architectural designer working in a team, and we simply need to get a concept drawing out for a design competition or design bit derived from a basic massing or form finding exercise. So in this case, we'll just go quickly to Shape. So fire up Shape. It's a split-second job. Again, the dashboard shows my recent projects, and we quickly go on to a new drawing. And on my right-hand side are side panels for easy navigation. But I'll now quickly go up to my 24/7 drive. So because that's where all my models are in the cloud or in the CDE. So these are all shared with my design team colleagues. I'll simply double click it to open, and I have the latest drawing, latest model. I'll quickly do a clean screen for a full screen experience if that's something that you like. And you can see this is a simple mass footprint produced by another colleague based on site parameters and site constraints. And I've now selected a solid, and you notice that when I select a solid, a prompt just appeared. And this is what we call in BricsCAD or in Bricsys a quad and a row over tips. So on the left, you see it contains an action button, and on the right, it contains properties, useful properties like color and layer data. So it's helpful for your design process. But when I click on a face such as this, a solid face, you notice that the row over tips changed, and there's a new property there that's area, and it's telling me it's 144.72 meters square. So again, this really helps with your design process. You know what you're clicking, and this quad, again, when I select like multiple objects, and I'll hover a little bit, and you can quickly see that I have opened the quad fully. And this quad, can I just add, is a machine learning tool. So it picks up on the user behavior and then suggests to you, to me, rather the user, what my next possible actions may be in the form of these 6 icons. So I don't have to navigate to my ribbon, or I don't have to use my command line, which is available but right now I'm on clean screen. So this quad is the one that I'm using it right now to carry on with my design process. So I've selected some lines over here. I'm just going to bring the manipulator up so I can bring up 2100 mil up here, get a precise sawtooth roof as you saw. So it's all up to you how you modify this form really. It's just morphing like a Play-Doh. And over here, I'm just going to quickly draw a rectangle on this face. And what I'm going to do next is with this rectangle, I'm going to drag a new volume out of it. So there you go. It's simple, it's intuitive, it's logical. And it just quickly helps you to think, to see everything in 3D. And I can quickly adjust faces like this relative to, let's say, the ground floor plane if I want to, by clicking on tab. So I can say 4,500 mil away from the ground floor tab. And from this side, the smaller extension surface would be a certain distance, 3 meters, let's just say, from the main facade. So again, you can do precise modeling in a very short time and very intuitive way. But I think I need more firepower, so I'm going to close the clean screen and bring on the section cut just to show what I'm cutting. So I'm cutting now a solid, as you saw, it's hatched there. It's one big solid, but I need to gut out this whole volume because I need to create a space. I'm talking about creating a building, so I can't create a lump of solid. So over here, the shell command gives me at 450 mil thick, which I just set, and now I have a space all ready and cleaned up. So I can play around the visual styles, and I'll do an X-ray just to let you see that I've got this shell there. I'm going to turn on high quality because my hardware allows me to, and I can play around the visual styles just to help with your design process and help you see clearly how things are. And because it's one solid, I need to cut all these kind of planes. I need to define the so-called floor. I need to define the so-called wall. So I'm slicing things very precisely, and you can see all the snaps that you might be familiar with, if you're in AutoCAD, and that little red square, it's telling me where to cut, where my snaps are. But this is such a manual task of cutting it. So what I think I can do over here, let me just turn on back to this shape. I can select the remainder solid, which is this bit here. And I'll use this split command, which automatically splits everything which the computer thinks it should be logical. And now I have something that's more decent and something that's more appropriate. Now I can still do unions, to morph and to merge different solids to come together, because I think that's a much better look than that broken one that we saw earlier. So let's throw in some kind of a color just to make this whole model look a little bit more realistic as a concept model. And over here, I've selected 3 solids, and I'm going to drag and drop a brick red. And you can see how quickly this representation, the graphics, and I can even paint on faces, not just the entire solid. So it's all up to you how you want to paint it. There's no limitations as to how you want to do this task. And for here, I'll just give it a metal kind of a finish for the roof, and I will paint the rest accordingly as well. Just want to keep on the same kind of a color palette if I could. And maybe a little dark brick over here would look nice. So yeah, so you can see the colors and stuff, and I think I need to add a decorative something, maybe like a decorative chimney. So let me just do a quick polyline on the floor, and with this 2D graphic, I will quickly define the dimensions and create a new volume out of it. And yeah, 12 meters as a decorative chimney looks nice in this industrial looking building. But anyway, it's a concept model. I have my full artistic license, and this is what BricsCAD can offer. I just need a quick representation. I think I need some skylights over here. So instead of removing actual solids, what I can do here is I can quickly define the boundary of the skylights. How long is it? How wide is it? You can do it precisely. I'm doing it just as precisely, 32 meters by maybe 1.5 meters, I think. That'll be better. And yeah, it looks good. I'm just going to copy this polyline across the different roofs. Turn on my snaps. Again, the same commands works, F3 if you're familiar with AutoCAD. But over here, what I can do is I can just quickly cheat and drag this little polyline. So I can do imprecise modeling if you want to. It's a concept drawing, it's a concept model anyway. And once complete, what I can do is I can select this boundary, and I can quickly give it a window. And there you have it. Everything divided 3 panes, each of them equally. And yeah, I think it looks good. It looks all right for a concept model. There's so-called materials. Yeah, I'll get the basic feel of what this building might be. And maybe let's just quickly do a save as. I'll just quickly save one in my local hard disk. So look, it's a .dwg file. It's not a .skp or any proprietary format. And over here, go back to my 24/7, and I'm going to quickly upload this so my colleagues will share the same file that I have. So we are working at the same information. Okay, right, I need to do more advanced modeling. So I'm going to go back to my launcher. I'll launch my 3D modeling, BricsCAD Core vertical. So with this 3D modeling workspace, I will have some access to some advanced tools. So let me just quick go a new drawing, go back to my 24/7, and I'm just going to quickly download the one that we just did on Shape, so let everyone see that I'm actually working on the same file. Double click again, and you can see how intuitive it was. I'll just do a little spin on my Space Mouse Wireless from 3D Connection. And over here, what I think we could do is we can turn on the dark interface if that's your preference. And I can do a clean screen as well. But personally, I'm not a fan of the clean screen, so I can just turn it off because all I have is the port to do my modeling, which is quite depriving of all these tools on my ribbon. So clean screen off on my command line bar. And what you can do here is auto parameterize, and let me just hover around here and let you see what it means. And as the description suggests, I can make any 3D geometry parametric automatically. So one click of this button and I can set all the design constraints and parameters of this decorative chimney without any manual setting up. So again, this is not BIM yet. This is just simple parametric design based on 3D dimensions, 3D geometry. We will go on to BIM later on. So I'll click on the button and let me just quickly turn on the parameters panel so I can show you what the values are. So as you can see, it's documented and I am going to animate it just to let everyone see which parameters I am actually selecting on. So I can change them accordingly, and because it's now parametric, I can change the value and it will reflect immediately, as you just saw. And you can see this remnant of that polyline that we just created on shape. Just to let you know that I've shrunken 500 mil on either side. So yeah, so I think this is okay for quick concept 3D modeling. And I'm just going to quickly update this onto the main model. So I'll just quickly open up my main model drawing, which I have all my site context, all the neighboring buildings, and I'm just going to quickly update the one that we just did so we can see how it sits in relation to the context and the neighboring buildings. And if you're familiar with XREF or referencing like link models and stuff, you find it so familiar. And this is what we do in Bricsys. We want to try and minimize that learning curve. So you find a lot of things very familiar. And across different workspaces, they work similarly in a similar fashion. Right, I'm just going to quickly spin and maybe open up a section that I just created earlier, because this is where we're going to grab that killer concept drawing, section drawing. And I'm just going to pan in and zoom in so you can see the details of the section cuts. All of them exist as XREFs over here. And this is nothing difficult for the section to cut through. You can still see all the details, the layers, etc. And for this, I think it looks quite nice as a commercial building in a mixed-use residential place. So with that said, I'm just going to export this to a file, this section, as an individual DWG file. You can do it straight into the block, but I like to have it individual so I can work on it while someone can take over this main model and perhaps send it to Twinmotion for a good render. So quickly export as a 2D section drawing, and I will open this in the same BricsCAD session, this one, and I'll just quickly open, and you can see I'm still on my modeling workspace, which is not really relevant. So what I can do is I can click over here and turn it to a drafting workspace, which is more appropriate because I'm now handling 2D lines. And I can do another workspace, which is this toolbars. So if you're happy with AutoCAD Classic look, this is what I suggest you should go for, that drafting toolbars look. So if you're confident with command lines and stuff, that's perfect, this workspace. So you can see quickly, like all the fields, all the hatches, they look good. The background with the windows, I know what's cut, I know what's in the background. It looks quite decent as a concept line drawing, but of course we need to do more improvements on that. So this 2D workspace gives me that kind of a creative license, which I want at this competition stage. And well, obviously one big thing that's missing out is the topography. So instead of modeling something in 3D, which would take some time, I'm just going to do this with my artistic license. Just going to quickly draw with my polyline. Again, what I used was PL space. So if you're familiar with the command line bar, that would be helpful. It would be so handy, it would be so quick. And now I already have a polyline box. And what I can do now, I should do now actually, is to create a new layer. So in our Drawing Explorer, we collate everything. So layers, blocks, dimension styles, everything into this Drawing Explorer. So it's a one-stop shop. You gain access to all your controls over here. And now I'm happy with this new layer. I'm just going to set this current layer and make sure this guy goes back to the competition graphics layer as well. Make that little shade of red. I'm going to quickly hatch it with the quad. So, and double click on it, you get the same access to the port setting, sorry, the hatch settings. I can change the scale however I want. And I just realized the ground floor actually lacks some kind of a window. I only have 3 skylights, which doesn't really make sense. But instead of going back into my 3D model again, I think that's going to take too much time. I just need a 2D representation really. So what I think I can do is I can go straight to that skylight. And let me just copy the skylight graphics because it looks like a window. It's got the pane, it's got the frame, etc. But what I'm going to do here is use copy guided. So this is a new AI tool from V21. And what it does is it takes away with that same constraints, and now I'm snapping it against lines which are 450 mils thick, and it automatically snaps to the points. So it's really accurate, and it removes the hash automatically. And over here, I can even set a specific height, a window sill height at 850 mil. So again, it's a good 2D representation. It's quick. I don't have to revisit the 3D model to redo the windows. And yeah, now I'm going back to my drafting mode, and I just want to quickly insert a human cell. I just need a human scale in this drawing, I think. So let me put a reading person in there. And yes, of course, you can do a plastic copy, CO space if you want to. But we've seen how that copy guided magic works. So yeah, why not we use that copy guided in that sense? Because what we can do is we can select that constraint of a line like this. Let's see. Yep. And you can see that the man is hovering on the line itself. So it's snapping against the line very accurately. You snap anywhere that's a line. I can do it, even make him read on the gradient like this. But I just did a really silly mistake. You can see the sky is made of splines, and I think I have a block from a practice library, which is a parametric block. And let me just quickly snap this guy in and demonstrate to you what I mean. So block, I'll just properties, yeah, it's a block. And you can notice it's a parametric block. So I can switch in between a man and a woman. And this is our answer to AutoCAD's dynamic objects. So we have our parametric blocks over here, but I'm not gonna redo that exercise earlier. So I'm gonna do a parametric blockify. And what it does is I'm scanning this with an AI tool again of an entire drawing. And as you can see, in 0.02 seconds, it's automatically converted all the splines that we just did, all the reading man, into that parametric block. And I can switch him to whatever cell that I have. So again, I've saved minutes of time in tidying up drawing, in making sure things work properly, that there are no broken lines anymore. Everything's all clean, neat, and they're all parametric blocks. I can change them however I want. So now I think let's do a change of the colors. And what I can do is I can quickly select all the lines and maybe change the color over here, give it that light blue color. And what we have here is a very neat, a very clean, simple drawing, or concept drawing. And I'm just going to quickly turn on the line weights, which I just did. And for the cut topography, I want a clear cut, a thick cut, to denote that this is a cut ground. And yeah, I think it looks good. I'll just bring straight to my paper space with my title blocks. And on my viewport, again, if you're good in command line, you can always do your scales accordingly. And I think 1:100 should look good with that sawtooth roof and the neighboring building. Yeah, the height looks good. I can see the graphics, the line weight looks sleek. I'm just going to quickly lock it before I spin it around. So yeah, I think we can improve on the hatches of the line weight, but again, you can do it in the Drawing Explorer under layers. You can make them 0.00 if you want to give that very fine. And yeah, I think that's it. So now we've produced that drawing. You can even PDF it, you can send it to Photoshop, whatever. And let's assume that we've won that competition. And normally in such cases, you're going to either start from scratch in another software, such as a BIM authoring tool. And that is such a waste of time and effort and information, because what we just saw, even though the process that you just saw was quick, but restarting everything would take so much time. And at Bricsys, we don't really believe in that. So what we're going to do is we're going to revisit the same one that we left earlier. So basic form updated, that's the one that we left earlier. But now I'm just going to quickly turn on the BIM workspace, because we are going to work towards a 3D BIM model. I'm going to fill it with metadata. I'm going to close all the unnecessary panels. I'll delete this chimney. I'm going to wipe off all the representative materials that we just did in shape, because we're going to do accurate data modeling now, data-driven modeling. And I can even trim and make it a mitered joint at places where I think it should be mitered if I want to. Right, so you can see these are what we call dumb solids. They're 3D models, they're 3D solids, nothing. And what I have here is some out-of-the-box compositions. And I'm just going to quickly select the ones that we just had earlier, which was in brick red. And I'm just going to quickly select them and throw in a cavity wall brick with a plasterboard internal. And turn on render composition materials, and there you see the walls are now converted to that build-up that I just specified. I'm going to do the same thing for the roof. So you can see the materials are updated immediately. You get the same feel, and I will do this a flat roof over here, and you notice the thickness has changed accordingly to my build-up as well. So this is really helpful if you're doing an integrated design delivery. I'm going to give a curtain wall for this one, a full floor-to-ceiling height glazing. And with curtain walls and mullions, everything will be automatically done just like this. And let me just cut a section through to demonstrate what I mean by the build-ups. So zoom in. Oh, I just forgot. I forgot the floor. Yeah, floor insulated. Yep, there you go. Immediately you saw how quick it was to add some composition. And over here, what I'm going to do here I'm going to bring down the outer brick layer and the cavity. And what I'm going to demonstrate now to you is how you detail in 3D in BricsCAD. So you can even do 3D detailing. You're not limited to just 2D. You can do it 3D, and this is how things should sit in the detail. I'm just going to quickly add an extra skirting board over here, because that's part of the detail, and that's quite crucial to the internal design actually. We'll put a sample at 600 mil length, 90 mil high. And I think it suits with maybe like a brass, a metal looking skirting board. Keep that industrial feel over there, with that sitting on the floor tiles. Yep. But what I'm going to do with this detail over here, I mean, I've just done one, but I'm not going to manually do it across the whole building. So what, again, is propagate. What I can do is with propagate, another AI tool, which I can fire it up and tell it to replicate this exact detail that I've just done, including the skirting board. And what I can do is let it decide where it's appropriate. I can even tick it or untick it if I want to. But yeah, it looks good on these few edges. It's the same composition. And there you have it. Everything's all modeled automatically, nicely. The skirting board joints as well. I think I'm happy with it. But I think I need an extra floor. So what I can do is I can quickly duplicate the floor and give it a floor to floor height at 3 meters. because I want a nice spacious gallery at the top. I'm going to change this floor composition to an intermediate floor slab with timber, with wood finish. And yeah, it looks quite good. So I think we're on the ground floor because it's quite empty, and I know it's going to be offices and spaces inside there. But I need to manually create plans and stuff, which is quite annoying. So what I can do is I can do a Bimify Advanced. What I'm telling it is, again, another AI tool to quickly generate some views for me to cut through. And over here, elevations, plans are all automatically done for me. And what I can quickly do over here is I can show you as well. It automatically classifies the walls. It is given the IFC properties according to the IFC 2x3 schema by Building Smart. So with all this kind of data, you can schedule them. You can make them wall schedules, and you can see that the roof was wrongly classified as a slab. I'm just going to quickly manually do it and change it back to a roof. I mean, after all, AI makes mistakes, so it is still growing, it's learning, but you have manual control. I think that's the most important thing. So I'll double click on the plan, and what you have here is an empty floor plate, which I can do with a quick draw. So again, a quick draw is a very nice tool if you're looking to do rectangular spaces with orthogonal kind of junctions, right angles and stuff. I can still do my parameters. Things are locked accordingly. And yeah, well, I'm going to make some drywall partitions to make some offices inside there. And I'm going to add some new spaces and let it snap against the walls. And you can see there are no duplicate walls, there are no silly overlaps. It's just intuitive. And I'm just going to throw in a door. And you can see on my left, I have got my properties there. It's 2 meters wide, 2.1 meters high. I can adjust them accordingly. It's all parametric. This is data design, data-driven design, I should say. And I can right-click to flip it if I want to. But right-clicking it is because I'm selecting the very first activity on the quad. It's just BIM flip, we call it. Again, you can just quickly flip it. And I will also copy this exact floor and paste it on my external wall. And again, you can do it precisely at the right levels relative to the external floor level, for example. And yeah, now I've got an entrance, maybe a back entrance and a door, entrance door to my office, just a simple one. And what I need is to do some spaces. So what I can do is Bimify again, classify anything that I missed out or anything. But what's also given me is additional spaces. So let me just zoom in this section. So this is the space I'm talking about. So with all these kind of space footprints, it updates automatically. You can see. I'm just going to quickly rename it gallery. And it contains all the areas, the volumes, everything that you need to schedule. So with all this rename, I'll just quickly zoom in. It's all updated as well. It's got my room number as well, which is quite useful. And I'll just quickly hide it. And here we have it. This is a model with all the spaces. I can make area plans. And now I have to bring all the plans and elevations onto sheets. So again, let's go on to the sheet setup. I'm just going to untick the section pane because I don't want it to hang up on the sheet. I just want my plans and elevations, and I can select a specific type of block template just for this project because we have got different stakeholders and stuff. And yeah, I think I'm happy with this. Let's take a preview. So 4142. Oh, so my right elevation is singled out, but I think I can make it smaller. So you can again manually do your scale adjustments, and with 1:100, which is smaller, I can see everything fits quite nicely. And you can see all my configurations all set up here. I've basically set it in a way that plans start from 100, sections start from 400, elevations 300. So if you have got a naming standard to follow, like ISO 19650, this is an easy way for you to do so. Again, I'll create sheets, and in a split second, there you have it. everything's all done properly. I will manually update the viewport. I can do it automatically, but for the sake of this demo, I'm just going to manually do it. And let me see how quickly you can see the changes, the updates, and everything. I'm going to remove the tag because it's overlapping. And you can see this is the office that we talked about, 135 meters square. Yeah, it's got a nice information that's given me. The hatches, the brick colors, all these are by default. You can always turn it off if you want to. But for example, well, this is going to be my first issue, very first issue. I'm just going to put some very basic dimensions. And just to give an example, how you can dimension your drawings, you can snap things very precisely. And maybe let's give a thickness to the wall. That's 132, the brick cavity wall. And the space tag that I just deleted, I can put it back manually wherever I want, but it's accurate, it's parametric. Yeah, I think it looks good. The hatches, the walls, the doors, everything's all telling me a story. Even the titles that automatically generated. Right, let's go on to the elevations. A300, let's go. 4 elevations, I can quickly update them. Again, it's a split-second job. And you can see how crisp that line weight output is. The detail, the lines at an angle as well. My floor levels, my curtain wall panels, my curtain wall mullions, etc. And just do the left and right elevations as well. You can see the hatches, the fill, etc. I'm just going to quickly zoom in and show the line weight as well. I can turn it on, the line weights. So these are my default line weights, but you can always adjust them accordingly. And yeah, and this is it. I think the viewports are quite distracting. Let me just turn them off. So again, I'll go back to my Drawing Explorer, freeze my viewport. Yep, that's the correct layer. And there we have it. Looks good. I can PDF and issue it as a first issue. Right. So what I've just showed you was, in a stretch, was design conception all the way to early production information stages with documentation, and very much from an architect's or architectural designer's point of view. So how about over here, let's take on a different role. And in this case, you might have to send some mechanical shop drawings to a manufacturer or supplier, because you, in this case, you are a contractor who's received a federated BIM model, which is already in construction stage, for example. And with that said, you can see we've got the site context, we've got everything all coordinated inside there. It's a huge collaboration between all the different consultants. But yeah, let's zoom in and see what we can break down. And I'm using my space mouse from here to zoom in, and I can spin around and quickly see how it looks. So I've just seen this little escalator, and the space mouse is actually quite nice if you're doing internal camera shots like this. So this escalator, as you saw, is an external reference, it's an XREF. So I'm just going to quickly open this guy. Right, so with this parametric escalator assembly that has been passed on from the M&E part of the design team, I'm just going to hide these site panels. I'm going to spin around and show that it's been modeled in a way it's parametric, and every bolt and nut and every rivet has been modeled in BricsCAD. And it's just screaming to me it should be in a mechanical workspace. I'm doing the BIM earlier. So now just turn on the BIM, sorry, the mechanical workspace. I'll turn off my properties panel, and you can see all of my parameters to the left, turn that off as well. And yeah, I'm just going to quickly hide it. So you can see I'm selecting this NCAD, which is another nested XREF. Quickly open it. And I would like to send this to the manufacturer as a sheet metal component, so it's ready for production. So I can quickly generate automatic drawings with the click of a button. for my views, the elevations, and a 3D ISO. I can even further modify them, move my viewport, align it really quickly, get a neat look, and I'll go back to my model space. So right now it's a simple 3D solid. I just quickly have to convert it into a sheet metal by a click of a button. So it works with any imported geometry, anything more solid in BricsCAD. I'm just going to make a bend over here. There's a little warning because I've bent a part of the metal, which one part is too small to do so. So it's given me that little warning. I'm just going to quickly select all the other edges to make it a junction, because I don't think I can actually bend it in the machine like this. So I'll make it a junction. And maybe on these edges, I think it's suited for a bend. So I'm just going to quickly select them based on the edges. Yep, hit on the bend. And you can even select an entire face and hit on junctions. So you don't have to do individual selections like I did. So you can see on my left, my parameters panel, all the bend radiuses, all the bend radii, sorry, all the flanges, everything's all documented nicely. It's all parametric. Now I can even bring on a bend table if I have a specific one to follow because of my machines in the factory. I'll just quickly open the CSV, load it in, and everything will be accordingly changed to how the machine can manufacture this product. Now, what I can do here is I can unfold really quickly this solid that we just saw. And what it does is it automatically documents and annotates all the bend angles, overall dimensions, etc. I can even save it individually or save it as a DXF, send it to the machines. It's all up to you, as you can see on my command line. I have all the different commands that I could do, but I'm just going to put it straight into my layout that I just did, because this is part of the mechanical shop drawing that I promised the manufacturer to do. So all the angles nicely annotated as well, which is quite distracting. I'm just going to turn it off because the machine doesn't know about this. It's going to be a DXF. All I need to do is keep the overall dimensions just to let the machinist know roughly how much material is going to be used in the manufacture of this escalator and cab. So when folded, it's going to be about 289 mil long and 265 mil wide. So yeah, so you can carry on annotating like this if you want to, but again, this is part of my contract drawings. The DXF is going to be sent to the manufacturer anyway. So here we are, a final piece of drawing that you can PDF, or you can even send it as a DWG to your manufacturer. So thank you very much for attending this webinar, and thanks for watching.
Thanks, Ken. Absolutely fabulous. I mean, it never ceases to amaze me every time I see BricsCAD in action. You know, what Ken demonstrated there was from a concept to 2D and 3D, detail and BIM, and some 2D documentation, all in one light package. That is the power of BricsCAD. But let's take a look at some of the other reasons, you know, why you should consider BricsCAD for your company. So why is BricsCAD unique? You know, we offer so much more compared to the other CAD, and BricsCAD represents an entire family of products in a single installable package. You know, we're just scratching the surface from that demonstration, what you saw. You know, it offers flexible, affordable, licensing, and compatible and learnable command interface that allows people to be comfortable with BricsCAD straight away, based on the experience of the prior CAD system. Now, when you combine this with our industry leading support, our easy migration and implementation assistance, and the forward innovation of BricsCAD, you have a complete solution, not only from today, but way, way into the future. Flexible licensing. Bricsys offers single, volume, and network licenses. You can buy them perpetual or rent them subscription. You can pursue whatever licensing path makes most sense to you for your business. You can buy perpetual licenses, which we still offer and our competition does not. If you prefer, you can purchase a network multi-user to serve many users all around the world with one pool of licenses, and you'll never have to worry about named users. Considering all these different options together, the flexibility allows you to run BricsCAD in a way that makes sense for your business, rather than having to make your business conform to a licensing scheme. And finally, we have a broad third-party ecosystem called the BricsCAD Collective right now. Over 400 industry-specific application products run with BricsCAD and are available on the Bricsys App Store. These companies use the same porting utilities and leverage our API. So if you're doing custom development inside your company today, well, you can use the same tools that these companies have to bring your application over to BricsCAD as well. We have deep integration with premier technology partners like Twinmotion, like you see in that short video here, and Enscape and Grasshopper from McNeil. These are industry preferred solutions that run with BricsCAD and allow you to actually make sure that you can work in Canvas without having to go through a lot of interface effort. These are deep integrations that allow the tools to work in BricsCAD without the complicated translations or interface requirements. You saw how Kin did a beautiful concept in shape, but you can take into BricsCAD Pro or BIM and use Twinmotion to get these beautiful walkthroughs and videos and animation to make your dream come alive. Our virtual reality engine also allows you to visualize BricsCAD models in a way that would almost be impossible in competitive DWG-based platforms that you're used to. You almost have to see it to believe it. Multiple third-party apps on top of BricsCAD, like the AX2000, really enhances your VR capabilities. Now, we did say one lucky winner, maybe two, will have their hands on a Space Mouse Wireless Kit 2 courtesy of 3D Connection. And we will pick a winner at the end of the webinar when we compile all the list, and we'll announce it by email and social media as well. But for those who haven't seen what 3D Connection are and what they do and what they can bring to the table, we've got a very short video. Now, again, this is a live session. We had a beautiful video with sound, which unfortunately we won't be able to show you. So what I have done for you instead, I've actually put in a PowerPoint slide. So let's see if this works. Take this moment to use the Q&A sessions, okay? Ask any questions you want. Because one thing I want to really stress on is with BricsCAD, doesn't matter which flavor you go for, you always get a seat of shape free. That bundles in with the launcher. You go for light, pro, mechanical, ultimate, you get shape free. If you go for mechanical or BIM, you get pro and light and shape bundled in as well. And of course, with the trial, which is the ultimate version, you get everything. So enjoy the video, and we're still here for you if you need anything. So it's a thank you from me and the team, but we'll stay on for any more questions that you have. You've been a great crowd. Thank you.